Hey everyone, good morning. Thank you for joining me today for this month's Designer Talk webinar. I'm excited to talk about this one because I've been getting a lot of requests on the cleaning and maintenance of hardscape materials. So I'm going to go over that with you now. Our goals for today: hardscape material options that are available, hardscape material finishes and why not every finish is appropriate, and problems and solutions to that. So goal number one, hardscape material options. There are so many different paver options available today, from man-made to natural stones. These are some of the widely known ones, and trying to wrap your head around which one works best in various applications can be mind-blowing. And making sure that once they are installed, they're staying looking as pristine as they did when we first installed them can be a challenge. There are no hardscape materials that are maintenance-free, contrary to what people say. All hardscape materials have pros and cons. So I just wanted to tap into the types that are popular. We're familiar with concrete pavers, precast pavers, porcelain pavers, travertine pavers, limestone pavers, clay pavers, granite pavers, marble pavers, coral stone pavers, lava stone pavers, and basalt pavers. Those are some that go around a lot and are used in a lot of hospitality environments, as well as residential projects as well. So let's take a dive into the different materials and the care and maintenance of them. Whoops. Concrete paver maintenance. Here are some of the basics. You could make sure you're sweeping the pavers regularly. You could use a paver sealer. This picture here is showing a paver driveway area and pool deck area that is unsealed versus sealed. So that's an option to help keep the color there. You can spot clean stubborn stains. You need to replace the broken or stained pavers. You'll have to rinse off the pavers with water and use a polymeric sand in between to fill the joints. And then use a natural solution to kill the weeds, because you will get weeds in between in a sand set application, mostly. And then, like I said, you'll have to seal to get that color popping, again, because it does fade from sun exposure. That's standard with concrete aggregates and stuff. They will fade, and then you'll seal that and the color will come back. So we need to keep that in mind. Use a coarse bristle stable broom and possibly a paver cleaner to keep them looking like new, as long as you can before you have to seal them. And again, with the weeds, you need to make sure that you're periodically applying a granular weed preventative in between the joints to help keep the paver maintenance routine at a minimum. And be careful when you're cleaning your pavers with power washers, as the force of the spray can expose the aggregate underneath the paver surface, because it is a concrete paver. So keep that in mind. And it is recommended that the pavers aren't sealed until after 90 days, because sometimes the stone has efflorescence, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. In the event that there's an oil spill on the concrete pavers, you want to try to remove that promptly with a granular oil absorbent chemical. Spills should be soaked up, not rubbed. That's one of the things that is discussed. The rubbing will drive the stain deeper into the concrete, so you definitely don't want to do that. The joints between the paving stones are most vulnerable in areas of insulation that where if you're pressure washing, the sand can come out. So you want to try to keep that at bay, and to prevent the sand bedding layer from deteriorating, causing the pavers to shift. So you want to make sure that the sand is swept in between and topped off with the jointing sand. Let's see what else I could discuss with concrete for you here. Oh, you don't want to overseal the driveway. They recommend only doing that once or twice within a 3-year period, because too many applications will create a film on the surface, which may discolor in sunlight and cause like a weird reaction with the way it looks. So keep that in mind with concrete pavers. Next, porcelain pavers versus natural stone pavers. There are so many misconceptions about porcelain and natural stone out there. So as a manufacturer of both porcelain and natural stone, I do want to share some of the myths and go over that with you. So let's bust some myths. Pros and cons of porcelain and natural stone. Under porcelain, the material cost is equal to or more than natural stone typically. And the material costs can, be equal, but the problem here is that installation typically costs more with a porcelain versus a natural stone. Did you know that installers charge as much as double the amount of money to install a porcelain paver over a natural stone paver? When material chips on a porcelain, it can't be fixed. The piece must be replaced. And not only that, when you have to replace it, color matching is very difficult to do with a porcelain. So you're going to always want to make sure you keep a good lot of it extra handy, so that if you do need to replace it, you're replacing it from the same die lot. It's very hard to rematch porcelain pavers if it has to be replaced. When the material chips on a natural stone, it's easier to repair because you can color match with the natural stone a lot easier than a porcelain. Also, if it chips, sometimes you could just use a little bit of epoxy to mend it. But if worse comes to worse in a sand set application, you can replace the whole stone and it's super easy. The porcelain paver is not recommended for a sand set application. Why do I say that? So with a porcelain, the edges are more like a rectified square edge. So if you can imagine when it's laying on sand, when the sand shifts underneath and the pavers shift as well, it creates lippage across the deck. And that lippage with a porcelain paver can be a problem. A kid would walk across the deck barefoot, or you yourself can walk across the deck barefoot, and you'll end up cutting your foot. You'll cut your toes from that lippage, because that porcelain is that rectified square edge, and it is a very hard material. So it can hurt. So on a hotel or anything like that, I always recommend, if you're using a porcelain paver, definitely mud set it. Do not sand set it. Yes, that drives installation costs up tremendously, but ultimately it's a better installation when you're mud setting a porcelain versus sand setting a porcelain. In regards to grout is needed for porcelain pavers typically, whereas with natural stone, you do not need a grout. Whether it's mud set or sand set, a natural stone can be butt joint. So you don't have to worry about any grouts. When you're dealing with grout, if you think of an interior paver, an interior tile rather, with grout, that grout gets really dirty and sometimes it cracks. Well, outside, the grouts don't hold up as well as interior, and the grout will crack, and then you'll have missing spaces in between, which is not good. The porcelain can get very hot as well. The darker the color, obviously, the hotter it gets. There's a reason why porcelain is used for cooking, because it heats up so well. So same thing with the natural stone. If you have like a nice gray, which is super popular right now, if you have a gray porcelain out on your pool deck, it's going to get hot, a lot hotter than a natural stone in a gray, just to give you an idea. It is easy to clean a porcelain. as well as a natural stone is easy to clean as well. And I'm going to go through a little bit of that with you. Natural stone is Mother Nature's original sustainable building material. So it's definitely something that is recyclable and can be used. It's great for LEED projects. So wanted to bring that to your attention as well. Looking at the care of porcelain. So while outdoor porcelain tiles can be more immune to stains or damage and water penetration, they can still get damage when continually exposed to harmful elements such as household spillages like wine and acid soft drinks, etc. If missed and not cleaned quickly, and even rain, if not periodically cleaned, can result in mold and mildew buildup over time. So a little care in the form of quickly cleaning these harmful spillages and periodically cleaning the outdoor porcelain tiles will prolong the life of their appearance. Regular brushing with a soft bristle brush or broom is good to do to help keep it clean. Avoid any type of coarse scrubbers or steel wool, as they will damage the surface. An occasional wash with warm soapy water is also a good idea with the porcelain to keep it looking good. Refrain from applying any product containing bleach, ammonia, or any cleaners that are acid-based. These may alter the color of your tiles, stain the grout. While porcelain is resistant to scratching and etching, these surfaces are not damage proof, okay? So take care of avoiding exposing your porcelain to permanent inks or dyes, because this might not be removable. If porcelain surfaces are exposed to permanent marker or dye, you're going to need to rinse those areas with water as soon as possible and apply the approved cleaning product for that porcelain. Rinse and dry thoroughly. Although porcelain is resistant to stains from juice, wine, coffee, and other food substances, it's best to wipe up the spills immediately to prevent possible stains. Avoid using an oil-based wax cleaner and detergent. When it comes to the care of natural stone, bleach and water are your best friend for all surface dirt when you have natural stone pavers. For stains, you may need to leave the bleach to sit for a few hours and then scrub it a bit before you rinse it. This is another myth. Sealant is required. There is no sealant that is required for natural stone. It is definitely just a preference, and it depends on the environment that it's in to determine whether sealant should be used or not. Overall, the natural stone is very easy to maintain. I should know, I have it on my deck, and I've had it on my deck now for the last 16 years or so, and no regrets here. Next, I'm going to show you a little six-minute video of our Stone Hardscape's vice president as she experiments with ketchup and wine on various types of natural stone. So I'm going to share that with you now.
Hi everyone, we are here today conducting a little bit of an experiment. All of our clients over the years are always asking us what happens if we spill red wine or ketchup on our marble or travertine pavers, and we're always offering bleach and water as a solution. But today we wanted to take the opportunity to actually conduct that experiment on video with you so that we can show everyone how it works. So what we have here today are 2 marbles and 2 travertines, so we can really get a good breadth of exposure for the different products. So Tatiana can come and zoom in and just kind of take a look at the products that we have. First product we have is our Diana Royale marble pavers. Then we have our Catania travertine pavers. Our Crema Bella marble pavers, and our super light travertine pavers. So you got a good look at what everything looks like close up. So we are going to just go ahead now and have some fun and pour some wine and ketchup on things.
No!
So a little bit of red wine.
Don't put ketchup on that. Why are you doing
A
that?
little ketchup.
Why are you doing
Because
that?
we're conducting an experiment.
I wanna do it.
Okay? You can help me clean it later, okay?
I want to do it. Can I do it with you, Mom? I want to do it with you.
All right.
Can I do it with you,
And we're going to just get some ketchup.
I want to do it with you, Mom.
And we will come back later with Adam and see how we get everything nice and clean. See you soon. Hi everyone, we are back. So it's been a couple of hours since we poured the wine and ketchup on the different marble and travertine products. As you can see, they're really dried in now because the sun's been baking them for a couple of hours. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna just start by hosing everything off, and then we're gonna go from there. So let's just get started. Just a regular garden hose. All right, so you can kind of see that after washing everything off, that some of it washed off completely, some of it left some behind. So now what we're gonna do is we're just gonna spray it with some bleach and water. We're gonna scrub it with a regular household sponge, and then we're gonna leave the bleach to just kind of soak in for an hour or two, and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna check it out and see what the results are like. So let's go ahead and just spray it down with bleach, just regular bleach and water mixture. Just spray it on, swipe it, rub the bleach in with a sponge, maybe do a little scrub. See, the ketchup came right off. On the crema bella, the wine is completely gone. There's nothing left. I don't even need to spray any bleach. All right, we'll be back in a few hours. See you then. Hey everyone, we are back. It's a couple of hours later. We let the bleach soak in for a little bit. Now we're just gonna take the garden hose, we're gonna rinse it off, and then we're gonna take a close look to see how our products cleaned up from the wine and ketchup we put on earlier. So here we go. Come in, take a closer look. Our Diana Royale, you can see no wine or ketchup residue left at all. The Catania looks beautiful, nice and clean, no wine or ketchup. And then you have the crema bella. The wine and ketchup is gone. And the super light travertine. Okay, so that's it guys. Bleach and water cleans all of your marble and travertine pavers. Super fast and easy. Talk to you soon. Thanks.
So with that being said, I just wanted to let you guys know with this video, None of the stones here were sealed. So they were in its natural state, out of the crates, onto the ground. That is why I was trying to say earlier, there's really no need to seal your natural stone unless there's some sort of environmental factor that's causing you to want to seal your stone, which we can discuss on a case-by-case basis and help you guys out with whether you should or should not seal it. But there's no real need to seal your stone. It's super easy to clean. So I hope that that was helpful to you and you heard it well. If not, this is on our Stone Hardscapes website under care and maintenance. So feel free to check it out at your leisure or share that as well, because it's a great tool. Okay, moving on. The manufacturing impacts of the different types of hardscape materials. If you are looking to use a natural stone, it's going to have the least amount of impact, manufacturing impact. It's simply extract, transport, and produce. Man-made materials create a larger carbon footprint, as you could see here, and natural stone will be your #1 choice for your lead projects. There are a variety of natural stone materials to choose from, with goal #2, hardscape material finishes. So what's the difference and how do I determine what's best for my project? I've compiled a few of the popular materials. Different finishes may not be suitable for certain places, whether it's interior or exterior. So you have to know which would work best in which situation. Typically, you don't want to use a natural stone or porcelain material that will, how can I say, will be not good for wet applications. That's super important with our exterior pavers. You want to make sure that you're using a finish that works well in the exterior environment. Have you ever walked on a stamped concrete driveway after it's rained? I know I've slipped a couple of times. I don't know about you. Asphalt is the same way. If you're walking on asphalt with the flip-flops, sometimes the flip-flops are slippery and it's very easy to fall. So depending on where it is, hardscape materials, can be good or bad. It's always important that we use the most important finishes. That's the key to that slide and me talking to you about this. Alternative natural stone finishes for exteriors are tumbled, leathered, and extreme grip. Those 3 work the best in exterior wet applications. So I wanted to share that with you. When it comes to the extreme grip, that has a fantastic grip to it. Everything passes the slip coefficient of friction testing, which is super important as well. Please make sure that any stone you want to specify with a specific manufacturer is by an evaluated, accredited company. Natural Stone Institute is one of them. They'll do the testing for you. And you want to make sure that it's in accordance to the American National Standard Test Method for measuring dynamic coefficient of friction of hard surface flooring. The current testing is the ANSI A326.3. You want to make sure that the test results yield the recommended minimum wet condition performance criteria of 0.42 or higher. This same testing method holds true for all hard surface flooring materials. Stone hardscapes materials are all tested to make sure that it passes the slip coefficient of friction testing. Goal #3, problems and solutions. Natural stone, concrete pavers, and porcelains are the 3 that we're most likely focused on because that is the most popular. Just to touch base on a natural stone issue that's popular. Here's one. My deck has an orange rust stain and it's spreading under my covered patio near the sliding glass door to the entrance of my home. What do I do? First, address the type of stone it is and whether it's mud set or sand set. Most times this is happening due to a sand set application, which means that there's moisture trapped and the sand is wet underneath the stone and it can't breathe. So the leaching is like a mold that is spreading. Pick up the stone. If the sand is wet, chances are the stone is too, and that area lacks proper drainage. The solution, have the installer come back and fix the drainage pitch so that the water has a place to go to and the sand can dry out. This problem occurs primarily when the installer overwets the sand during installation. And if they follow the proper guidelines for installation and install the stone on a dry base, this typically will not happen. For concrete pavers, the biggest issues that I've most likely come across is the efflorescence. The efflorescence is a powdery white mineral deposit that sometimes forms on the surface of concrete and brick or other porous surfaces. In technical terms, it consists of a naturally occurring calcium salt. Here's a couple of tricks to preventing efflorescence, but it's impossible to guarantee that you'll never experience efflorescence on pavers because it is a natural occurrence in all concrete products. The main way to prevent efflorescence is by isolating the pavers from salt and water sources. So storing the pavers properly, paying special attention to landscaping and sprinklers to the pavers are always a good way to help prevent it. Other ways to prevent it: when installing the pavers, ensure bedding material and grading allow for proper drainage. So same concept a little bit here with the natural stone. Permeable geotextiles can prevent salt absorption from the ground, and installing a capillary break will prevent both water entry and salt absorption. So porcelain issues, it's fairly new. So that's one of the things to discuss about for sure, so that you are aware when you select porcelain. I just had porcelain installed and there are chipped pieces. What do I do? During installation, when porcelain is cut, it chips easily. And even though some porcelain says that it's color through, most times there is a little color variation and it can be unsightly. If the material was sand set, then it can easily be replaced. If it was mud set, then it becomes more difficult and becomes more of a challenge because the entire piece has to be replaced. And when you go and chip it out, sometimes the other pieces beside it break during the fix of the chipped pieces. And again, color matching with porcelain is a lot harder. So if you don't have those added stock of porcelain nearby and you have to get new porcelain pieces, it might be a different color on your deck, which is not very attractive. Again, porcelain should be mud set. It shouldn't be sand set. There's definitely issues with lippage on it, and it is painful when you cut your toe and slice it on the porcelain tile. So you got to be careful with that. Always mud set your porcelain. That is definitely highly recommended. Moral of the story: all stone has their place in design. We just have to know which stones provide the best function and beauty in the space that it's designed for throughout the lifespan of the project. No one type of stone is free of care and maintenance. They will all get weeds in a sand set application, and that will have to get addressed. And they will all get dirty and need swept or pressure cleaned now and again. The goal is to find the best suited material for the project. So with so many different options available in paving materials, whether man-made or natural, stone hardscapes can definitely help you find the best materials for your design. We're here to help make the specification process easy, as well as bring your designs to fruition with both function and beauty. I hope the Designer Talk was both inspirational as well as informative to you. We are always asking that you please provide feedback and let us know some topics that you feel we can address and help you with to make your project amazing. I thank you so much for joining me today. Until next time, please stay healthy, stay creative, and I look forward to seeing you next month at our next Designer Talk. Thanks so much and have a great day.